I think a lot of relationships today are built on a foundation of either stubbornness, pride, fear of being single. Hey, okay, whatever. I saw this weird comment on TikTok recently that was like, 95% of all polyamorous relationships fail. Whatever. First of all, that's a weird comment because that's just made up. Like, where did that stat come from? It's also disingenuous to say something like that. Because my first point is that no relationship can fail, all right? They just can come to an end. There's no such thing as a failed relationship.
But also,
why aren't we looking at the bigger picture? Why aren't we looking at relationships as a whole? I think most relationships either do fail or should fail. Hear me out. I think most relationships that exist today in their current form deserve a second look at least. Because we got into these relationships in our current era under like false pretenses. We really look at society through a different lens than our grandparents and our great grandparents, okay? And speaking of grandparents, how many of them were in really happy relationships? Some, right? Okay, but how many were in bad relationships where like there was abuse or misogyny or, you know, that kind of thing. Those antiquated beliefs of gender roles and gender norms and things like that. Anyways,
I digress.
I think most relationships shouldn't exist because I think a lot of relationships today are built on a foundation of either stubbornness, pride, fear of being single. You know, like, why are you with the partner you are with? Now, no, this video is not about polyamorous relationships, but it did get me thinking. I think polyamory, ethical non-monogamy, it gets a lot of a bad rap. I think it gets a lot of a bad rap because it's foreign to a lot of people, but it's existed forever. It's existed just as long as monogamy has. And in many ways, it is kind of the natural form of expression of love. I mean, do you have just one friend? You know what I'm saying? If you have more than one kid, do you love one less? There are reasons that I think most relationships fail or don't last. I think the main reason that most relationships do not last is because people are not emotionally mature. People lack accountability. We don't know how to just really own up to our mistakes. We don't know how to apologize. We don't know how to really just show up when we are in the wrong. How many people dig their heels in when they've been called out on something? And these are professional people. These are people that you think of that are like, they have their shit together.
No, the fuck they don't.
Because if you get one of them in a corner, the most esteemed, regal colleague of yours will dig their heels in and just continue being wrong and never admit when they're wrong and never apologize. Anyways, I'm getting distracted. A lot of people in relationships today have not done any kind of shadow work. They've not done any kind of work on themselves. They're just kind of out here raw dogging it, all right? With the same mentality they had back in middle school sometimes. I mean, think about it. Most monogamous straight marriages today end in divorce, 50%. So should we be more critical on those relationships? No, of course not. I think the problem is the people in those structures, in those relationships. We are out here basing our lives on our mom and dad's beliefs, on their mom and dad's beliefs, on antiquated norms and cultures, on things that we don't. I mean, why do you think the way that you think, okay? Are these your beliefs? I know there are a lot of reasons why people stay in the relationships they're in, whether it is pride, whether you have a point to prove. Maybe you were the couple that people said we're never going to make it. And so you're like, damn it, logic be damned. We are going to make it. And now we got 7 kids and we're in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe it is because of cultural or societal or family expectations. I don't know. Is there money on the line? Is there an inheritance? I have no clue. And a lot of people stay in relationships because they got kids. Look, I get it. Having kids seems fucking stressful, man. My wife and I decided not to do it, all right? We want to save money and be happy. I get why you might want to have kids. Maybe you want to impart knowledge. Maybe you have an educational fire in you. You just want to impart knowledge and make sure that the next generation can learn and make the world a better place. That's awesome. Some people have kids because, I don't know, it was a mistake, or I have no idea. But I do know that having children when you don't want to have them, or having children with the wrong partner, can lead to resentment. How much of resentment can lead to the end of a marriage or a divorce or a relationship? You know what I mean? When you have these kids and you're not in the right mental place, or you have them and you're not with the right partner, I mean, God, that's a recipe for disaster. There are so many reasons why relationships don't last, why relationships fail. But let's get to that, because I don't believe that there is a such thing as a failed relationship. You will learn from any interaction. We are put on this earth, I think, to enjoy each small moment, each morning we wake up, each breath we take, we are supposed to just enjoy that. Enjoy ourselves, enjoy the people we're with. There is no such thing as a failed relationship. If you find yourself dating and then you break up and you never date again, that's not a failure. You dated someone. You experienced love. I was posting on Instagram the other day. I was like, what was it? What was the post? It was like, if you've experienced love, you've experienced paradise. And I really mean that shit, dude. Love is amazing. And if you're single, you can still experience love. We put so much pressure and like this regalness on the relationship. And how many people get in a relationship with the sole goal of getting married? And then they want to have the big wedding. So it's like, okay, did you get into this relationship for the wedding? Or did you get into it because you love this person? You want to spend your life with them? I mean, really, think about it. Why are you married? Why are you with the person you're with? Do they truly make you happy? Do they challenge you? Do they make you rise to the occasion? Do they hold you accountable? Or are you a fierce protector of one another? So many people get complacent in their relationships, and then they just kind of exist, and then they pass that energy on to their kids or to their colleagues, and then there's just a lot of bitterness and resentment. I think we all deserve to take a second and third look at our relationships and just really ask ourselves the hard questions. Why are we with them? What's important about them? What's important about relationships? And what's important to me? Who am I? Because we also get lost in others. We also get lost in these relationships, and we end up not really being able to recognize who we see in the mirror. And the point of a relationship, whether it's polyamorous or monogamous, whether it's with one person or 20, is to build on yourself and to fulfill yourself and to feel love and to spread joy and love with those you choose to spread it and feel it with. So I wanted to give y'all some advice at the end of this to kind of help you avoid your relationship ending or failing, or however you want to look at it. But there are no failed relationships. But anyways, here's how you can avoid it, according to me. Take your time before getting into fucking anything, okay? Please don't rush into anything. Do not rush into anything. Take your time. I don't care if it takes you a month, 6 months, a year before you commit to someone. Do it. If they're worth it, if they're worthwhile, they'll wait for you. And it'll be a dialogue. It'll be a back and forth. It won't be just a you're ghosting them and then you're expecting them to wait on you for a year. No, it's a back and forth. It's that building of the relationship, that energy. If it's worthwhile, you'll know. You'll have that momentum. You'll know, okay? But take your time. Don't rush. There's really no rush to, there's no reason to rush ever. Just don't ever rush. Okay, next up. Do not be afraid to be wrong. You might pick the wrong partner. It could happen. It does happen. People get divorced and get left all the time. Don't be afraid of that, okay? Don't let your pride keep you in something that's not working. All right, if it's not working, why would you stick around if you can leave? I know that not all situations are created equal. Some situations are based on safety, and you gotta stick around because that shit is not safe if you try to leave. I get that. I'm sending you all love in the world. Please, I hope you get some help with that shit. Anyways, don't stick around if you don't have to. If you can get up and walk the fuck out the door, get up and walk the fuck out the door. Don't just stick around because that's what's expected of you. If you can leave, okay? Please, don't be afraid of being wrong. Don't be afraid of having made the wrong decision. We all make wrong decisions. We're human. Finally, bring your issues to your partner, okay? Do not invest in gossip. Do not invest in the shit talking, okay? Don't be trying to embarrass your partner. Don't invest and do not engage in any type of behavior that is supposed to put your partner in a bad light or embarrass your partner. Now, you can talk about your issues if you need to. I encourage you to talk about them with a therapist if you have the resources for that, or with a close friend or another partner if you got that, or whatever. But do not engage in gossip. Do not engage in shaming or trying to harm them, like by talking shit about them or anything like that. No, bring those issues to your partner. Do not stop checking in. Do not stop finding out things about one another. Do not stop falling in love each and every day. I don't care if you got one partner. I don't care if you got 50. Do not stop falling in love. Do not stop checking in, because if you stop checking in, that's how you end up left in the dark. That's how you end up with a failed or an ended relationship. That's how, because you stop showing up with or for one another. Don't do that. Show up each and every day. Show up with the same passion today as you did yesterday, as you did 10 years ago, all right? And if you're having trouble figuring out how to do that, please feel free to comment below. I'd be happy to give you my opinion. I'd be happy to give you some insight on that, on how to kind of keep things fresh. I love doing that, man. Me and my wife love keeping shit fresh, and I'd love to pass that knowledge on to you or to anybody else that might benefit from it. What did you think of this video? I'd love to hear from you in the comments. My name is Dougie Rue. I post life coaching content. I'm your life coach bestie, all right? I'm trying to help you live a life that is more fulfilling and full of peace and joy and love and happiness, all right? Please feel free to comment below. Like I said, I'd love to hear from you. You can visit my website at www.robotsintheocean.com. I'd love to hear from you and be friends, all right? I do photography, I do tarot, I do sound healing, I do life coaching, I do all kinds of shit. More to come. Stay tuned. I will talk to you later.